hello. If it's Thursday at 1 o'clock Central Time, it is Think Tank Thursday at Trainertainment, and I'm very excited to share with you today my dear friend, a company that's been uh, a part of our company as far as I'm concerned since the very beginning. Um, uh, Redemption Plus. There, you can see they're one of our sponsors of Think
Uh-huh.
Tank, along with Bowling Music and Simnox. And I am delighted to have Mike Tipton with us today. He co-partners the leadership group there
Yeah.
at Redemption Plus, and
Yep.
um, we we need you here today. You've been thinking about lots of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
You've been in and on the business in a big way, even though we've been minimized a bit
Yeah.
over
Yeah.
the last 5 or 6 months. So I'm
Yeah.
excited to see what's on your mind, Mike. Y'all have made some big decisions at Redemption Plus, and yeah, let's
Yeah. Well,
tell me all about.
first of all, I want to say thank you for having me. And we've really enjoyed our partnership with Trainertainment, and everybody loves you,
Oh,
Beth, here. All smiles whenever we mention your name. So thank you for having me on and being able to talk through some of the things that we've been going through. So,
it's it's been a
yeah.
lot. Like this whole
Mhm.
time has been a lot, right?
Yeah, I mean, for everybody, it's
Yeah,
not just us, but for everybody. Everybody in the industry has been affected, obviously, and we've got many more customers that are still gearing up to open within the
yeah.
next couple weeks, and so yeah, it's been a lot of changes.
Well,
You know, back
I know your business and my business are directly impacted by how our industry does. And I don't know about
yeah,
you, but I got the whole industry on my darn prayer list
I know,
on a daily basis,
yeah,
right? Because
I know,
I think that probably is as good a strategy as any. And it's been interesting in recent days. I have been thinking about how to make hard decisions. Mondo reminded me, Armando from Creative Works reminded me
hmm
about a book, the hard thing about hard things, and so I started reading that most recently. And you guys have, I don't know if what you've been going through has been difficult. I think probably all of us can
yeah,
think that way.
yeah.
But it's also been, there's been some very energizing things go on too. And you guys have made a big change at Redemption Plus. Why don't you
Yeah.
speak to
Yeah.
that?
So last week we announced, or the beginning of September, we announced that we'd be partnering with Rhode Island Novelty to handle all of our fulfillment and back office needs. So basically, they're doing all the shipping from their facilities and then handling invoicing and inventory and that type of stuff. And our team is handling all the customer service aspects. And so, you know, we've still got our product team here, our technology team, our sales team, marketing team. Myself and Christina are all here. So we're still doing what we do best and focusing on what we
Yes.
feel like we do best.
Yeah.
And Rhode Island definitely excels at the whole fulfillment logistics piece of it. I mean, they're top notch facility out there. So
That's
we're excited
incredible.
about
How did you how I mean, you and I both run our businesses in a issue processing mindset, like we have
it.
that same language. And so when the issue of fulfillment came up, and it must have come up a whole bunch, right? You have a
Yeah,
giant warehouse, y'all grew and expanded in that massive space. So
yeah,
I'm assuming you're going to downsize and save lots of money on space. But in the
yeah.
issue processing, like, how did that come up? And how did you figure out, oh my gosh, this is what we should do?
So back in in March when everything hit, we went from spring break time and shipping tons of orders out to
Yeah.
zero orders, and I think until probably the third week of May is really when we shipped an order. We pivoted a couple times. We tried a thing called boredom buster boxes where we ship
Yep.
to consumers, and that was fun. It kind of passed the time for us and be able to put our creative energy. We've got a lot of creative people here, and that was like the first thing was like, let's put our energy towards something so we're not freaking out every single day.
Right.
But as time passed and June came along, our sales did pick up and customer locations were opening up, and we're starting to see some of that. It really wasn't enough for us to be able to look down the road and be like, okay, how do we sustain all of our operations? How do we keep the lights on? How do we make sure the warehouse stays afloat with $1 million worth of products sitting out there? And so we really had to start taking a look at kind of the hard choices. Nobody wants to go out of business, or nobody wants to really be considering that kind of stuff. But we kind of ran all those scenarios, and we're trying to find. And so what we, to answer your question, finally, what we came up with was, if we could offload the warehouse rent and the space and the lease and that type of stuff, and be able to somehow find an organization to be able to distribute for us and get our systems talking and all that kind of stuff, then we'd be able to downsize our offices here, focus on what we're really good at, and be able to carry forward with us as much of our employment and the brand and what we really stand for, our purpose into the future. And that's what really became important, was how do you save as many jobs as you possibly can, and how do you really carry the essence of what we've been building for the last 20 some years, and what Ron's really instilled in us is our purpose, and being focused on that. So that's what we had to focus on.
That's great.
What it came down to.
Well, and understanding and knowing what your purpose is, I think is critical. And I do think that the businesses that seem to be doing better are those that understand what they stand for.
Yeah.
I know in our recent business coaching conference, we were really focused on helping people with their core values, which is kind of at the heart of their why. Somebody asked me recently about the difference between vision and mission, and vision is absolutely why you do it, why you would do it even if you didn't get paid.
Right.
Like that's what real vision in my mind is. I would do this even if I could figure out how to take care of myself and there would be no money. That's what real
what drives you. Yeah.
Yes. And then mission is, how do I get it done, and what is it that I do better than anybody else, right?
Yep.
So I think you guys just nailed it.
We've spent a lot of time every year at the beginning of the year, and you probably do the same thing. You kind of take a look at not just the vision and say, have we outgrown it? Have we achieved it? Are we still moving in this direction?
On that path?
Yeah. But then, like you said, how do we accomplish that? And we've always taken our mission statements a year at a time. And so we say, this year, this is what our mission is. And we started with a lot of things that we wanted to get accomplished.
Oh yeah.
And a couple of years ago, we said, okay, what are the top 3 things? And they were big things, like implementing a lot of technology that we had, and being able to really create a learning management system within our own company, so everyone could grow and become experts at what they were doing. And so those were like 3 things. How do you knock it? And then when you knock those out, those are like mission accomplished. We know how to do it. How do you carry it forward? And then you create the next mission. So that's you're spot on that. So, and
that's great. Well,
I'm hoping that our mission carrying forward is something that right now it is take care of the customers that are coming back on board, and help educate them with tools and resources and that type of thing. But it's definitely something that once things settle down with us, because we're still in this transition, then reestablishing that mission.
Well, I guarantee you, for me, it has been a consistent now normal. I have totally abdicated the idea of a new normal, because new is every day. And there's something that's going to change. There's something we don't know about. And you know what's so funny, Mike, is I kind of think that's the way life is all the time. We just have this arrogance about us that we think we're in control. And we're not. We're
Yeah.
not. If anything during this particular time, I am learning more and more how to just stay in this present moment. It doesn't mean I'm not planning. It doesn't mean I don't have vision for the future, but I got to make the most of this moment to
Hmm.
get to that next moment too. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Yeah. I got asked yesterday, what would be the biggest gift that I got out of going through this whole
Mm.
scenario of all this change that we have going on. And um, so originally, I had planned this when we started talking with Rhode Island. We had some dates in mind and that kind of thing. And for the last 6 years, I've lived out in the country. I've been an hour and 15 minutes away from our home office here.
Oh, wow.
So I have been driving back and forth for over 3 years and picking up kids and all that kind of stuff. And so my plan was I'm going to sell my home. I have 5 acres. I want to move closer to everything so I can get everybody around. And I've got more time at home with my kids and that kind of thing.
Hmm.
So I thought I'm going to plan that about 2 weeks after this is supposed to be done. So I can kind of like knock things out. And the plan did not go as I
Oh,
thought. And ended up, we moved, of course, all of our inventory here in Lenexa, Kansas, had to go out to Massachusetts. So
oh,
we were working day and night with the Rhode Island crew to get that going within a week. And at the same week, I was moving my house.
oh,
So
my word,
I
my.
just kind of got to the point where I was like, whatever I expected to go right is probably not going to go perfectly right, right? But I just got to keep heading in that direction.
Yeah.
And I think, personally, I would get frustrated at the beginning of all of this. You're right. Like this kind of stuff happens to us all the time, but then you have this layer of COVID going on
Yeah.
and our industry shut down and all
Yes.
the uncertainty. And so you pick up on the negative stuff
Yeah.
more. Like, oh my gosh, why does this
Hmm.
keep happening? But I think I got to the point where by the time we were moving and all that kind of stuff, it was like, I've got a direction that I'm going. I can't hold on too hard to the plans that I had because it's
Yeah.
not going to go by plan.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a lot more faith than planning at that point.
Well, it is. I think you plan, and I think you work the plan, and I think
Hmm.
you adapt. My
Yeah.
husband has the superpower of adaptability. Thank goodness I am married to him because I've been addicted to a date book or Franklin Planner since 1990, and even in junior high, man,
Uh-huh.
I lived and died by the calendar and an appointment and all that kind of stuff. And having this balance in the other part of my life with my
Uh-huh.
husband and him just having that gift of adaptability is incredible. We have lived a cancer journey for like 6 years, and we're still in the middle of it. And so for us, while COVID and quarantine and all that is a deal, in a way, it's not cancer.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like, well, so everything has contrast,
Hmm.
right? You get the
Yep.
great contrast of I'm not going to have to drive 2 hours and 15 minutes to work anymore. And so the
Yeah.
joy of, wow, I got home in time for supper tonight,
Uh-huh.
or I can do homework or whatever. If you didn't have anything to contrast it to, you might miss out on
Yeah.
the joy of being
Right.
closer. So,
Yep.
yeah. Oh man,
Yeah.
that had goosebump effect for me there. I do try to spend time. I try to spend time thinking about what are the blessings because
Yeah.
there are plenty.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are plenty of people that don't have a home to be
Hmm.
safe in and all kinds of things. So we are blessed beyond measure, which is what a friend of mine says all the time. So you have been with RP for 3.5 years.
Yep.
Here's
Yep.
what I know. I started in '05, and Ron Hill was excited about what we were doing. I have no idea exactly why. I knew him because I was in the industry, but he was really interested, and it's probably because from a purpose perspective, even if Ron didn't know how to express it in '05, he's always been really interested in growing people in
Yes.
a part of
Yeah.
somebody's business growth, somebody that works with him's growth, and a partner, a vendor partner. And I don't know, do you know that Ron backed my first little jaunt? I made a video for Party Host, and I did a mock party because I thought, man, if centers could have um, a video of
Uh-huh.
training so that it would be constant and consistent, they could ramp up their training. Well, man, it costs a lot of money to get a video. And
Yeah.
and Ron said in the early days, well, how can I help you? I said, well, it's going to cost me about $3,000 to make this video. He said, okay, I'll do that. Will you make me the sponsor? I said, yes,
Yeah.
yes, I will.
Sign me up. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Oh, it was, yeah. So that's a little bit of trivia, 2005
Yeah.
trivia. It was the big thing we came out with. We went to a show called Fun Expo at the time, put off
Hmm.
by ILA back in the day, and I'd known Ann
Yeah.
forever, Ann Kroll, and I'd known Justin, and your folks don't even understand they're in sales.
Yeah. No.
They
No.
don't. They
Yeah.
don't. Ann and Justin both are amazing guest, consumer, client advocates, and they understand the business, and they understand the business has to make money,
Hmm.
and they're an advocate for that client to get that client what they need, and they don't
Yeah.
do it at a profit. And they're with you. They've managed to make it through this transition, haven't they?
Oh man, they've really, everybody has stepped up. Um, I've been just kind of blown away by all of the employees that were, here, being able to come together and take care of the details and the ins and outs and really step up in leadership. And I mean, there's just no way that you can go through a change like this where you're practically clearing out half of your building and hope that you know, three or four people in leadership are able to handle all that by themselves.
Mm-hmm.
That's not, but Justin made everything every day fun. We were all
Good,
cracking up. We're all
good.
cracking up. We're all out in our masks and packing up boxes, and he's hilarious. But that was one of the reasons why I wanted to come to Redemption Plus is after meeting the team. I remember they brought me in and had me interview with the entire. At the time, I had 14 people
Oh,
uh,
wow.
on the team whenever I came in for the sales and marketing crew.
I
And
can't believe they didn't make you talk to me first too, because really, I got to bet. I got to bet that come to
yeah,
our.
well, I got vetted hard by Ann and
Good.
Justin.
Oh
So,
well, she's got my
yeah,
back. So
yeah, but no, Ann and Justin are just incredible people, and you're right. I mean, they understand on a level. They understand our customers on a level that most salespeople would be more concerned about. Is this going to close, or is this going to? Are they going to pay me money? And Ann and Justin will walk prospects all the way up to the door, and prospect will say, oh, I'm going to go with this other company. And they're like, okay, give me a call if you have any questions or anything like that. And, that's been the culture that Ron has created over time. But that's the kind of heart that Ann and Justin bring to the table.
yeah,
And
they
we've
do.
got a whole
They
team
do.
of people like that. So
And
pretty
I mean,
fortunate.
I've known Ann for probably 20 plus years. I'm sure of it. And
Hmm.
I think I've been through the birth of every single child she has. So
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I'm at the 20-year level. And the consistency of who
Hmm.
she is and what she stands for is just incredible. Well, so where's Ron? How's Ron fitting into all this for
Ron's
you?
Ron's down at the Lake of the Ozarks at his home down there. Has spent some quality time with his family. He's working on a book.
Nice.
Yeah, and so that was kind of something that he had started at the end of 2019 into 2020, and he kind of came back to it and said, "Well, this is where I want to put my energy."
That's
Christina and I have been kind of running the ins and outs and the daily operations, and helping the folks out and all that kind of stuff for well over a year. And so talk to Ron just about every day. And you had said, in 2005, Ron had asked you, how can I help you? That's how I pretty much end every conversation with Ron, is him asking, how can I help you? That's just the kind of person that he is. But he's got, Ron's also a dreamer. He's got a lot of vision. And so he's working on a book. He's facilitating some discussions online. So he's got a lot of things going on, and
That's
keeping
great.
himself busy. So,
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, I'll tell you, it's the thing that I'm hoping, and I'm so glad you took the time to stop and think with me for just a little bit today. I think it's important. I think that's why we have this Think Tank Thursday session every week. We stream it live we stream it live. That's really a secret. We record a bunch of them, and then we play them live on Facebook.
Yeah.
They live on YouTube, and so people can go back and rewatch if they want to. But I just think that it's so important that just for a second to step back out of the being in the business and to work on the business, or even just to work on yourself for just a second, because I think when you can facilitate conversations, real conversations, which is why I only talk to people who will be real with me. Thank you, Mike. I think that would be 100% with you. I think it's important, and I think that I hope that what happens is other people will take time to think, and it will stimulate stuff maybe they hadn't thought of.
Yeah, I think this is a great format to be able to do that, and just to garner ideas. And I also think that if you don't slow down, and if you can't slow down enough to really kind of appreciate where you're at, what you have, where you would like to go, it's harder to make those hard decisions, because everybody in this industry is making hard decisions right now.
Every day.
You really can't no decision is 100% guaranteed, but you really can't make great decisions if you're just being reactionary. Sometimes you have to just kind of sit back and be like, okay, what's the best move I can do next? And, try to move in that direction. But those are all, everybody's probably had to lay off people. They've had to make those choices, have those conversations.
It's hard.
It's really hard. And you're working with people every single day. Everybody's kind of emotionally up here. So
we've definitely had to rearrange and juggle, and I have a lot of faith that things will be bigger and better, and we're creating wonderful new stuff that we're excited to get to roll out, and just kept moving forward. I didn't know how to do it any different. Somebody said to me, well, I'm going to go ahead and execute plan B. And I thought, wow, I do not have a plan B. I'm going to keep on keeping on,
Yeah.
Mike, is there anything that you would like to ask me before I ask you the Think Tank signature question? Anything on your mind that you want to know?
I'm wondering, we've just heard that IAPA kind of got canceled. And I know that's kind of the time for everyone to kind of roll out new ideas. And this has been a weird year. So I'm wondering how Trainertainment kind of is thinking about approaching that.
Yeah, thank you. That's a great question. So one of the things that we have learned in this space is that we can generate a micro conference, if you will, or a micro clinic. We took our conferences and we had to do them virtually because we couldn't get together. And so one of the things we learned was, wow, a whole bunch of people came to those. They were less expensive. They didn't have to travel. They weren't as time consuming. And so for the new year, we're going to produce 5 of those. We have sales, service, and leadership that we're really obsessed with, and we have kind of a birthday niche. So each quarter, we're going to focus. So Q1 will be all about sales, and we'll have a micro clinic, a conference, and a webinar. We'll do those webinar first, build on that, do micro
Yeah.
clinic, and then do the conference. Hopefully in March we can get together. I hope the
Yeah.
next quarter we'll do that in terms of leadership and business growth. The next quarter we'll do birthdays. And then in the last quarter, hopefully we'll have IAPA next year in the last quarter. We will
Yeah.
not plan to do an in-person conference because hopefully we'll all be together, but we'll do 2 micro clinics. So that's been a real big deal because in my mind, what we have to do as business suppliers, as service partners in this industry, is we've got to find our own way to generate our own leads.
Yeah.
And not that IAPA did anything bad. IAPA did exactly what they needed to do. I was a little disappointed they didn't tell us sooner, but I get it. You know, it's a
Hmm.
big decision. And so for me, I have to find as many ways to get in front of as many people. We don't sell widgets at Trainertainment.
Right.
I can't, I don't have a reader or a bouncy ball.
Hmm.
Our stuff, we need to demonstrate what we do. And in a clinic, a webinar, and a conference, we can show folks what they can get. We're professional coaches and trainers, and we need to show it. And I knew that before all this mess,
Right.
but I don't think I understood how to show people easily. I
Yeah.
kept thinking, well, I got to be on the stage or giving a keynote, and it's not true.
Hmm.
So we're responsible for generating our own leads. We're responsible for, well, and having partners like you guys so that we can share those
Yeah.
leads, because
Yeah.
we
Absolutely.
all together know a whole lot more people than my company or your company knows solo.
Oh
So
yeah.
did I
Yeah.
answer
We're
your
we're
question? Was that your question?
no, that was a great answer. I think you're right. I mean, we're all stronger together than we are
Oh,
trying to run apart. And I think that's part of our decision with working with Rhode Island
oh,
Novelty as well, was just we could actually be stronger if we just focused on what it is that we really, really do best here, and they do this
what
piece
they
of
do.
it
Yeah,
so good.
yeah,
Um, yeah.
yeah. That's
So it,
cool. That's
you know,
really cool. We have a brand new um, launch. I haven't even put a single thing out about it yet, but we're partnering with Amusement Advantage, and they're going to do our mystery shop program that we've always uh,
yeah,
delivered for. We teach a sales process, and then we follow up and we call each week. And I'm so excited to work with Scott, and Amusement Advantage is going to deliver. They're going to fulfill. They're going to do our
yeah,
fulfillment on that
yeah.
side
There
of
you
it.
go.
That's what we do. We'll coach and teach, and they do their part very well. So I think it'll really upgrade our systems of delivery. So, well,
That's so
Mike,
awesome.
you and I, golly, this is fun. I don't know why we're not talking to each other at least once a week. Maybe
I'm
we should put that.
I'm available.
Yeah, we probably ought to put that together.
Yeah.
Uh, I want to ask you. I want to ask you before we go. What is it that you all do, that you do personally, and even professionally, to help yourself or others grow on a consistent basis? We're obsessed with growth at Trainertainment. We only try to work with extraordinary folks, or at least people that want to be extraordinary, and you can't do that without being hyper focused on growth. So tell me what you do.
Yeah. So personally, I depend a lot on exercise, and so I have a regular workout routine, which is kind of I don't like to go to classes or any of that kind of stuff. It's kind of my time. So I try to find places where I can exercise where I'm by myself, because that's kind of my time to be focused on me, and it's rejuvenating. I really
Yeah.
like that piece of it. For our
Do you run?
team,
What do you do? What do you run? You lift weights? You do yoga? What do you do?
yeah, lift weights, do some swimming. I really enjoy swimming. So I'm fortunate enough to have a place that I can go and do
Oh,
that and have a routine. And whenever I'm not doing that, like when I get out of the routine, if I'm traveling or whatever, then it kind of throws my world off. So I
uh-huh.
realize how much I depend on that. So for our team here and for our customers, we've really tried to build out the philosophy of teaching others how to fish.
Yeah.
And I know that you have alignment on that as well. But, providing our employees with the ability to be able to learn either their trade or, outside of the industry, things that might improve, they could bring in. And for our customers, it's about building out tools and resources and that type of thing, and helping them, just
That's
helping them
great.
along the way. So,
That's
yeah.
great. That's great. Well, this is great. Thank you
Yeah.
for jumping into the tank with us
Thanks for
today.
having me.
Our sponsors, we like them to you try to get in the tank at least once a quarter if at all possible. And so
Yep.
we'll see somebody next quarter. At the last quarter of this year, I'm looking forward to the last quarter of this year. How about you?
Yeah. Yeah. It'll be
Let's
nice
just
to put
get
a
on
cap
with
on
it.
2020. Yeah.
Yeah, let's go on. Let's get on. So, all right, Mike. Well, have a great rest of your Thursday, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much. You too.
All right.